you been to the circus?
I've not actually been to the circus, no.
You've never been to the circus?
I haven't been
For
to
real?
the circus, no.
What sort of childhood did you have?
Let's not get into that on this podcast.
Okay, that's for another podcast again. I hit a nail on the head there. You've seen that.
So we're bringing the circus to the office.
We're bringing the circus to the office.
Okay, interesting.
We've got a great guest today.
Jolly Jess.
Jolly Jess from
Showtime Circus.
Jolly Jess is very jolly, very cool. The last time I seen her, she was about 12 feet tall looking down on us.
On the
she
stilts.
was on a stilts.
Yeah, she was on stilts.
And she was just like, class for kids. And we're like,
we were like, who's
oh my
that?
God.
I know. It's
But
kind of
yeah.
like, is that my conscience talking to me? It's like, oh no, it's just Jolly Jess.
Yeah, it's usually your conscience, isn't it? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, will we welcome Jolly Jess to this podcast?
I think we should welcome Jolly Jess to the podcast.
Without further ado, let's talk to Jolly Jess from Showtime
Circus. This is the lovely Jess from Showtime Circus.
Jolly Jess.
I found her on the street.
Just kicking about.
I know, I was like, oh, there's Jess from Showtime Circus. We
Just
met her
such
at
a
Movement.
coincidence. She
I
just
know.
happens to be one of our customers and she's cutting about the street.
I know, and you'll never guess what. What did you have in your van, Jess?
I had loads of circus stuff.
This is just like an ideal. And it's a Friday today.
I know.
It's like it was planned.
It's like we actually arranged this a few weeks ago at Move It. So yeah, we caught up with Jess at Move It.
Could you try again?
Yeah, we'll try again later on, Siri. That's not going to happen for you today. Very sorry about that, everyone. So we caught up with you at Move It, where we invited you up to the office, and here you are.
Yes.
It's very great to have you.
Travelled
thank you.
all the way from Birmingham last night.
Birmingham, yeah.
How was your trip up?
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was
You
great.
told me earlier that you were manifesting things, you were listening to podcasts, RuPaul's Drag Race, I
RuPaul's
believe.
Drag Race all the way.
She
yeah.
even sat at
The
one
po-
of
is
the
that a podcast as well as a show? Is it?
Yes.
I was not aware of that. Okay, cool.
and she even sat at a service station and watched the sunset. I'm like, Jess,
That's pretty chill.
Yeah.
that's very chill.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Is that you through and through? Are you quite kind of?
Oh, I'm so chill. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
need to get some lessons.
Yes, he does actually. He's
I really do.
chaotic energy right in that seat over there.
Indeed. Well, it's great to have you here. And as we said, you're here on a Friday, so you're going to be taking stand-up and
Yes.
running everybody through some, hopefully, circus tricks.
Yep, Jess, it's great to have you on the podcast with us, and it's going to be great to get to know you and your business a little bit more. So
Yeah.
why don't you start by telling us a little bit about what's inspired you to start Showtime Circus?
Yeah, that's like, it's a big question. It's like
Yeah, it's a
circus.
big
We have had
question.
loads of people on this podcast, all different activity types. Never circus.
Yeah.
And I'm really wanting to know where
Yeah,
this came
well,
from.
so I was a dancer first, professional dancer, went off and trained in musical theatre. And then I did musicals, cabarets, cruise ships as a dancer for years and years and years. And then basically, long story short, my agent said, I can pay you more if you can do different skills. So I started with stilt walking and then hula hooping and fire, and then started learning aerial, hoop and silks and all of the other things that go along. And then as you start doing like circus contracts, you meet loads of circus folk and they're really, really passionate about sharing their knowledge. So if like I did a 2-week contract in Abu Dhabi and learned how to juggle because I was in a tent with loads of jugglers. So they're really, really lovely at sharing knowledge and, you know, passing things on, so I just sort of learnt as I went. And then I was turning 30 and I was in Tina Turner the musical touring around Europe.
Awesome.
And then we had like a little break and I was like, you know, I just was like, I want something that's mine because I'm 30 now and I want to open something that's mine. So I was looking into opening a dance school, musical theatre school. It's what I trained in, but there was loads in the area. So I just thought, why don't I tap into that circus knowledge that I've been building now for a long time, like 8 years at that point. Why don't I tap into that and open a circus school? So I did. And just as I launched my circus school, Easter camp in 2018, The Greatest Showman came out.
Perfect
Oh,
timing.
you couldn't have done that better, could you?
I know, so thank you for that. So yeah, so my Easter camp filled up. And obviously at the time there weren't many sort of circus schools around. I'd certainly never taught at one. I taught at dance schools a lot. So me and my best friends just sort of figured it out.
Just winged it?
Yeah, they just came to circus camp that first day and we were like, oh, okay, well, tomorrow we'll do it different. And we figured it out. And then by the end of the week, the kids loved it so much. I only ever intended to do holiday camps and birthday parties because I still wanted to perform. But then by the end of the week, the little faces, but we want to do it every week, Jolly Jess. Like, please, can you open up? And you can't say no, can you? So then, before I knew it, I'd opened a weekly school, and yeah, here I am.
Best laid plans and all that for just
Yeah.
your holiday camps,
Yeah.
and you're 5 years into your journey. And now we were chatting earlier as well when we were out in the van. You are a franchiser.
Yes. So yeah, franchise the business now. I took a little step away, obviously during COVID, did loads of business courses, and had to take a step away from physically teaching because of health issues, but it sort of pushed me more in the entrepreneurial side of it. And I realised that it could run as a franchise, so I actually launched the franchise in December, and I already have 7.
December, like last,
Just there?
like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
What?
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference there then now? I mean, is it a much bigger step back you get to take and kind of just manage? They manage themselves once they're a franchise?
Yeah, once they're set up. So I've done like what people are saying is a disruptive franchise, because I've offered 2 different packages. So if you're a dance school or a gymnastics academy, actually anybody on Class for Kids, if they've already got like a dance sort of performing arts academy, then they can buy a bolt-on, and that means that they bolt it on to what they've already got.
Okay, so that expands their offering, like
Yeah.
what they're able to open up more classes, more demand, that kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, so what I've got so far, 3 of those are bolt-on packages. So they already run a dance school, they already know the business side of it, they just need to learn the circus side and then add it on. So yeah, 3 of those are bolt-on.
So do you train them up in the circus
that's
skills?
the
Like,
question.
so all they
Okay.
need is that desire to have, an
Yeah.
expansion in their business and their offering, and a desire to learn circus skills.
But that's slightly different from most franchises, is it not? Because then, like, if football franchises, they would know how to play football, they would know how they would maybe need to follow a curriculum.
Yeah.
But you need to train these people right up.
Yeah. So we have 5 days of training, which is now CPD accredited, which is amazing.
Great.
So I'm really proud of that. 5 days of training with me, and then I teach them the very basics. And then we do have a sort of syllabus. We don't actively do exams or anything like that, just because of the type of kids that we attract. Like, we feel like circus is one of the very few places that doesn't do levels or grades or exams, and I want to keep it that way. So we have like a syllabus, it's very loose, just so that they have goals to work towards, but no sort of exams or pressure or anything like that. So I basically teach the franchises level 1. And then they have ongoing training. So when I was looking at purchasing a franchise, I was like, yeah, but where does that franchise fee go? But with my franchise, it goes straight back into your training. So every other month is online business training and support. And then every other month is in-person circus training, so that they know that if their kids have already got through level 1, that they're coming to train with me next month, and I'll be able to teach them all of the level 2 stuff.
And are you doing the business support as well as sort of the circus training? So you're doing everything, so like you're saying the money that they're investing in their franchise actually is being reinvested back into their skill set and their business.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and it's a lot of the bolt-on franchises especially already have knowledge in business, but it's nice to be able to add to that as well.
What did you call it? Disruptive franchise?
Yeah.
So
That's
we've
quite
got the bolt-on
interesting,
package. What are the other 4
Is
franchises?
that just full-on Showtime Circus?
Yeah, they're full franchises.
So they must have some circus skills, some circus backgrounds.
In fairness, 3 of them again have basically taken over what I set up. So they've stepped in as managers and taken over what was already set up by me, and then the 7th one is my one that I've opened.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never heard of disruptive franchising.
I like the
I
idea of it.
I like it.
It's
sounds
totally
good.
different, because then it allows, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but so a dance school operating, they take this bolt-on kind of franchise, and then it's just it's another part of their offering that they can offer from that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the disruptive side of it. It's almost disrupting the norm of their classes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
It's also disrupting what a traditional franchise is,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking like Subway, McDonald's, they're all franchise. You're literally taking.
Well,
the
you're
standard
all
package.
in, aren't you? And it can almost be like, because
But you pay the upfront fee, and you've already got like all the business intelligence, like everything like that set up. Like if we were to go and start a Subway, you and I, we would have that, and we would just take it and.
I'm more thinking about talking to Jess about starting an actual franchise here. Like, we can get
a circus school.
a bolt-on circus school in
Yeah,
this
do you
office.
bolt on to software companies?
Yeah,
just for the Fridays. Just for Fridays.
Just for Fridays. I can imagine everybody in there going about in unicycles, carrying like.
We actually, fun fact, we do have a unicycle in the office.
We do.
But for health and safety reasons, it's never really come out.
Yeah, it was somebody. I think it
was an intern. It was an intern that we had last summer.
That's right, and it was in the product team, and I think they were saying, "Oh, this is." It was. I can't remember why it was brought in. But our head of product bought it for this intern that was in,
brilliant.
and then they couldn't pump up the tyre.
Yeah,
they
same
couldn't
as before,
actually
yeah.
set it up right, even though it seems very simplistic. Wasn't and then when I think they managed to do all
They
that,
did.
HR stepped in and were like, I don't think
no.
we should be doing this in the office.
Do you know what though? All my circus skills, and honestly, unicycle is the hardest one for me
Really?
personally, especially. And it was my goal over COVID to learn unicycle. Here we are, 2023, still haven't learned it.
Do you know what? I'm so glad we didn't
Yeah.
push the unicycle on you today in any way.
Oh my goodness. That would
Could've
have
been
been disaster.
Disaster.
That would have been funny on film though. It would have been funny to see. So anyway, back to franchising. So I guess for me, bringing on 7 franchisees in such a short space of time, there must be something unique that you're offering. What is it you say that would make Showtime Circus stand out from the crowd?
I think it's the type of child that comes to circus. I think we've got a very niche offering in that not only do we offer dancers, because it's massive now, every cruise ship you have to be able to do silks and hoop.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that right?
to ensure that you are employable, you have to have all of these different skills. So hula hooping, stilt walking, fire, all of these different skills make dancers really, really employable. So then there's that sort of aspect, is if you want to go and perform as a career, you really do need that nowadays. But then there's also the parents who have tried every single club, they've tried everything, and maybe it doesn't quite sit right with their child. Then they're like, what am I going to do with this child? Oh my goodness, a circus club.
That's me.
Is it?
Literally, that's me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we've tried everything with my eldest. He's not really interested in kind of
Right.
sporty stuff, right? And he would. So what he's eventually done is take to piano.
Yes.
So he's learned the piano, great. He's loving that. But if this was around here, he would
Yeah.
be so into it.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy sell
Yeah.
for somebody like for like Dylan, because he would just be like, oh, he's a daft clown.
Yeah.
So I think that would be ideal.
Exactly, yeah, and you know, they can focus on, what I love about it is in our circus classes, obviously we have the specific aerial acro classes, but in the circus classes there are so many skills. So if Dylan didn't fancy doing the silks,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have to. He could go and juggle, he could do the Diablo, which we find a lot of
Diablo sounds like
yeah, it's the
okay.
one we spin around. We're not gender specific at all. Anybody is welcome, but I do say we find a lot of the boys take to Diablo and just are fascinated
What
by it.
percentage have we got to the classes? Do you know that? Is it like 50-50? Is it?
No, nowhere near that.
Right, okay.
I'd love to attract more. Well, we've got I say we've got a rainbow full of children,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we don't put them in a box. We don't ask them. We let, hence the circus names. They're allowed to call themselves whatever they want to call themselves when they come to circus. They're allowed to be whoever they want to be when they come to circus. And we do pronouns at the beginning of some classes, especially our squad, just to make sure that we are calling the children what they want to be called,
Yeah.
pronoun-wise. But yeah, we have a whole rainbow, but as it stands, we don't have many who identify as a boy,
Okay.
as a male, so yeah.
But you'd like to attract that more, yeah?
Yeah, for sure, more. I think because our teachers all identify as female.
Yep.
So I think if we were to have more male teachers, then it may.
Oh, there you go,
shit.
Stephen. That might
Yeah,
be.
there you go, as you call it.
But I want to back up a bit to circus name.
Yes. Oh, yeah, okay.
We need to get a circus name.
Yeah, okay, so so is your circus name Jolly
Jolly
Jess?
Jess. Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. So you...
You could be Rubbish Rebecca.
You could be
She's far away. She can't hit me at this stage.
you can be Simple Steve.
I would actually probably go with that. Yeah, that's probably right. No, let's be nice. Okay, you give me a nice one.
No, there's no.
Is that gone now? That
Yeah,
time?
that's gone.
Good, well gone.
I don't know.
we say, if they're struggling, your favourite animal. We have a lot of fluffy husky is what, pink flamingo. I'm trying to think of Kitty
Okay,
Gazelle.
Okay,
is
well, you're
loads.
she's a very, very big dog fan. She has a fur baby.
I do have a little cockapoo.
There you go. You could call yourself Coca Hoop. No, I'm going to cut that bit.
We're going to cut that bit.
I'm going to cut the cock bit. Yeah, okay. Okay, what? Right, give yourself. Right.
Right, okay, I'm gonna call. I don't know why, and I don't know if we need to cut this out, but Saucy Stephen.
Right, I think we do need to cut that out.
This was coming to me. I don't know why.
Silly Stephen.
Silly. Yeah, Silly Stephen.
Okay, Silly Stephen.
Silly-
and you
Silly
could be
I'm struggling with Rebecca.
Yeah, it's R, isn't it? It's a tricky
well,
one.
why don't we go by my alternative name, which everybody else knows me as apart from people in work, which is Becky.
Okay.
Bouncy Becky.
Bouncy Becky and
Bouncy
Silly
Becky.
Steve and Jolly Jess.
There we go.
That is what we need to
We got there.
introduce ourselves as stand up today.
Yes, when we introduce ourselves today, if you could say that'd be great.
Try to remember. I know it's like saucy who. What?
Okay, good. I like it. Silly Steve.
Yeah, circus names. That is interesting. So what's kind of like the, I guess maybe more creative ones that you've heard of at the circus school?
Oh, there are so many good ones. Yeah, I think the animal ones I love the most. So yeah, Fluffy Husky,
That's cute.
Pink Flamingo. There's really inventive ones, and sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry, what? But they like to change them every week. They change them, and I
Right.
just think it's really
Makes it hard for the register.
Oh yeah.
I also think that we might adopt this because we can be like our different personalities, like what
Yeah.
we're feeling that week.
Yeah.
So Bouncy Becky might come in one week.
And then really kind of
boring Becky.
boring Becky. Yeah.
I'm in a bad mood this
And
week.
then bad Becky will come in one
Bad
day.
Becky.
Yeah, and Simple Steve will be in on Monday. And then come Friday, it'll be Stupid Steve.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really cute for the kids because then,
is.
like, if they have been Steve, who's been shouted at all day in school, Steve, all day in school, and then he
Yes.
gets to circus and he can be silly Steve, and that's amazing. Like,
No, it's
how
good. It's
amazing
really
is
good.
that? Yeah.
I love it.
So what strategies do you have in place to attract new customers? Like what's your advertising strategy, your marketing strategy?
I find that our marketing is best over summer because we can set up and the children can try it.
Interesting.
So
So do you
all-
offer trials then?
We offer trials throughout the year, £5 trial throughout the year. We do bring a friend week, and we do, all of the
Other
sort of
incentives.
normal,
Yeah.
things. But definitely over summer, when we have all of the summer carnivals, the school fairs that we can go and set up, and the children can try it hands on. That's when we find that we get the most people joining.
Is that when you actually go into the schools themselves?
So we do that throughout the year anyway, and offer workshops. So it's normally in September time for the little reception starters. They normally have a circus come, to get them used to school. And then in July for the year 6, if they're not on PGL, then they get to do circus. So we get hired for that loads. So we do go into schools quite a lot. But yeah, it's normally the school carnivals, and they have like a carnival or whatever. And one of the mums will be like, I'm
Yeah,
on the
like a-
PTA, can you come along?
Yeah.
And we'll be like, yeah, of course you can.
Again,
We've
if we
got
had something like that up
flyers.
here,
Yeah.
honestly, you need to get franchises up here.
Yeah.
Listen, it could be our alternative career.
Could be.
We're
Yep.
leaving the podcast again, guys.
Here's Silly Steve and Bouncing Becky.
Why are we
from Midwest?
I don't know why I'm a cowboy.
Ha, silly Steve.
No, that's interesting. Then yeah, because it seems like it would in the event where they would in my school would bring out a bouncy castle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you guys are rocking up and
Yeah.
actually putting on big circus performances.
Yeah, they
Kids
love it.
will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you need to get yourself or one of your franchises into Scotland because
Yes,
That
please.
is the aim, to be fair.
So thinking about sort of advice in your sort of journey, I guess, what would your advice be to other kids activity club owners who are looking for new and creative ways to grow their business? So obviously franchising has kind of been your route. Say maybe somebody's slightly smaller in their program sizes. What other things did you do in the past historically that worked well before that franchising stage?
Oh, that's a really sensible question.
Got sensible Stephen in the corner who can help.
Dude, yeah.
I think to help somebody grow, my advice would be to have a really sound training program for teachers, because I think that's what teachers find tricky is stepping away from the business. But if you know that you've trained your teachers really, really well, then you're confident that you can step away. And I think that's what I struggled with those first few years is sort of just trusting somebody. And then now that I have, as I said, the CPD accredited training, I'm like, no, I know that what they've done is great and that they're going to do an amazing job. So that would, I think, be my advice to somebody who's looking to grow in stepping away from the business. I would say get yourself a really good training program, and then you're confident that you know that who you've trained is going to deliver what you want.
Yeah.
Also, the people that represent your business, they're part of your brand, aren't they? So you really need to focus on investing and hiring the right people. But I think often what we hear about, and I guess what we're thinking about is, how do we make sure the classes are good? Like, we've got more offerings, like the quality of those things are great, but actually investing back in your teaching staff, that must just help things grow so much beyond what you're doing already.
Yeah, because that investment is almost in your growth as well, because the more you invest in your staff, the more they can do by themselves. You don't need to sort of micromanage. You just leave them to it. So then that means that I can grow and do what I need to do to grow the business, because I know that they're running it.
How are you with that? How are you with the step back?
It was hard, I'm not going to lie. It was really hard, yeah. I felt like I'd lost a limb when I stopped teaching, and I think I was born to teach. I love the kids. I love.
Well, we can see that. I mean, we've seen you now at a number of events, and usually you're about 15 foot tall when I talk to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Love the interaction. I love the kids. So I do miss that when I have to be like business Jess. But yeah, it's, I took a step back because I had to, and now.
Has it got easier?
Yeah, it has got easier.
Okay.
It has. Since when I return to the schools now, and I can see that the kids love the teachers. I think when we did a school show and I was there, but the kids were more concerned about giving the other teacher a massive hug than they were me. I was a bit like, what? And then I had a little minute and I was like, no, this is what I want. I want them to love their teachers.
We had the very same thing. Remember Lisa as well, saying the same kind of, it was the moment she walked in and seen all the other kids kind of with the new teachers that were involved, and she's like, oh, here, but
Yeah,
a happy tear.
Performance Academy we had on the podcast a few weeks ago, and she was also just chatting about the fact that she can go to any one of her classes and she sees that same sort of standardised approach to teachers because she's invested in hiring the right people.
Yeah.
So you should be able to walk into any of your franchises and be like, this is exactly what I would be doing and how I would be sort of wanting my brand to be emulated across as well. So.
For sure. That very first time I left, it was Kim from our Kidderminster franchise, so that's Showtime Circus Factory, and I was there, but they were running a party, and I sort of said, I can run it if you like, but I'd love to see how you guys ran it. And to just stand back and watch Kim absolutely smash it. Like, she was amazing, saying exactly what would come out of my mouth. And I was like, this is weird. And my partner was there because he was filming a promo for them as well. And he was like, that's weird. She's literally you, but a different person.
But it shows that you're investing in the right people, which is exactly what you want.
And it shows that the brand's strong as well. I mean, we're all about the brand, and all the time in this podcast, it always kind of the conversation steers back to the brand.
That's kind of what everything's born from, essentially. You have this idea and then...
Well, you would say that. You're the brand manager here.
I know.
No, that's good. That's really good to know.
I guess maybe with franchising, how easy has it been to do that with the Class for Kids system? I mean, it's a product plug here about Class for Kids, but in all seriousness, how easy has it been to get your franchisors set up, or your franchisees set up, and up and running with the Class for Kids system? You've got this kind of standardised approach with everything.
Yeah, it is. As they're growing, they're not quite, some of them aren't quite on Class for Kids yet, because when you're a teeny weeny business, you don't understand the benefits. As soon as you do get it, you're like, oh, how did I ever live without this? But Class for Kids has been brilliant because it's really franchise friendly. So obviously reduced cost for franchise. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, sorry. But and it's just so simple because if they have a problem, they can contact you directly. They don't need to come to me, and I am all for that. If there's a problem, please contact the people, not me. Don't come to me. So and everyone answers them so quickly that the problem's sorted before they've even mentioned it to me. So,
and I guess for you as a business owner, it kind of gives you that peace of mind, though, that like you know how the business is being run in terms of like the automation, how payments are being processed, how bookings are being taken. So it does give you that satisfaction that you don't have to be like, right, how is that person managing it differently to this person over here, like once they come on to the Class for Kids system. So I guess that must give you a little bit of sleep at night.
Yes, for sure. And as a franchise, it's easy for me to just quickly log in and check, not that
you get the full overview of everything happening everywhere.
Yeah, but I can have a little look and check that everyone's okay.
I guess like for financial forecasting and things like that, it's probably quite helpful that you have that kind of overview, and you be giving your expertise as well. So like with looking at what classes are most popular, for example, or where there's gaps, and you can say, well, actually I've experienced that as well, and here's how I marketed that class to get more things.
Exactly.
So yes, you're not watching over it in a Big Brother sense, but you are looking to help your franchisees expand and grow. So that's kind of where it comes in useful.
I liked it. Just before we started the podcast, you got an email.
Yeah.
And it was just like a confirmation somebody booked basically. And you say you still get excited when you see them coming in.
When I get your order confirmation, I'm still like, yay, because it's like it's amazing. 5 years on, I'm like, yay, little happy dance.
Yeah, no, it must be so. It's a proud moment as well, isn't it? Seeing all this kind of come to fruition and grow. It's amazing because it's such a unique offering, like I said before.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a couple of circus schools on, but I think like what you are offering is just very different. Like you've said, it's like kids who have tried other different activities and it just doesn't suit them, and then they come into this and there's almost so many different activities for them to try. It's like they're kind of getting everything, maybe bar football, in one class. So, yeah.
You could do stilt football.
Yeah, you could do. There you go. That might be literally
that could be part of our franchise.
My next question was, how do you continue to innovate and stay ahead of the curve? It's stilt football.
Stilt football.
Done. Sorted.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't even
Patented by Silly Steve.
Yeah. Exactly. We have to go and buy the rights to it from him.
Yeah, I'm just going to get that domain name now.
No, and also he says, how do you continue to innovate and stay ahead of that curve in terms of competition?
I think a good team helps you, so you bounce ideas off each other, and then you can throw anything. No, being confident with your team, knowing that you can throw anything into the ring, and they'll either go, Jess, no. Or, oh my goodness, that's actually brilliant. I think that is really good.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we've got here. It's kind of like, it's the honesty. It's not surrounding yourself by kind of yes people.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they saying, oh yeah, that's the best idea ever.
Yeah. I've just had this realisation, actually, like from the past couple of podcast interviews, so many of our customers that come into this office and come in and sit in that podcast seat do have a very similar ethos to us at Class for Kids in terms of the culture that you build around your team, the people that you hire, the investment that you make, the training, the ongoing support. It's almost like we just have like loads of mini Class for Kids.
You attract the same people they do.
It must be our manifestation.
Yeah, exactly.
We do
I feel like it's true though. I mean, I'm not.
No, completely, absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of kind of exact same. I mean, even like in terms of what their brand and that stand for, it's very, very similar to what we try and put out into the world.
Trying to put out into the world, yes. Yeah. we try very hard.
That's what's happening. I'm all about that. I've read The Secret.
Well, Jess, I think that about wraps our interview. Any other questions, Silly Steve?
I think we're almost done. But what are you doing next, Jess? What's your plans?
So off to Can You Dance on Sunday. I'm
Where
doing
is that?
all of the regionals. So Sunday's Newcastle.
Okay.
And then we've got loads of regionals left. So going all over the place, giving out workshops. So the kids get to come and try it, which is so much fun. Dancers are so good at aerial, so they just pick it up so easy. So yeah, doing the regionals for Can You Dance, chatting to dance teachers about bolting on the franchise, hopefully getting a few BTEC students through the door.
And what's BTEC?
BTEC, so it's a qualification for 16 to 18 year olds.
Okay.
So instead of doing A levels, you can come and do circus skills.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
They love it. And we're one of the very few in England that offer a circus BTEC, and ours is really unique in that we offer circus, dance and musical theatre. So yeah, trying to get a few people on that course too. And then a summer jam-packed full of carnivals.
Oh, of
loads
course,
of carnivals.
that'd be so good.
Festivals, all of the festivals.
Yeah.
And then we do Milton Keynes Pride every year. It's like the highlight of our year. So
Excellent.
like September, and then
What a lovely lady.
She's great, Jess, isn't she?
She
So
is
much
great.
knowledge to share, such a lovely lady, and just, an all-round, just absolute star.
Yep.
Great guest on the podcast.
Great business lady as well. I mean, one of the things that we took away was the phrase
Oh, am I going to say it?
Yep.
Disruptive franchising.
disruptive franchising. We hadn't heard of it.
We hadn't, and I think the fact that she's been able to open, I think, 7 franchises in the space of, about 5.5 months?
Is crazy good.
It is insane. And I just really love the phrase disruptive franchising. It just sounds so cool. I was like, well, Jess, it's just, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a disruptive franchiser.
Yeah, you just like the word disruptive because that's kind of describes.
That describes me, doesn't
Kinda
it?
describes
Yeah, I'm
you,
very
yeah.
disruptive in the office.
I'm trying to think of a good circus pun to wrap this up with.
Please do not do a circus pun. I have had enough of your joking
Clowning
today.
around.
No. Brian, can we cut this now?
I think okay. Well,
No circus puns.
no circus puns. We'll just do our goodbye in a circus style then.
What does that look like?
Bye.